The movie begins with a man named Truman, who works at a bank and starts his day happily, greeting his neighbors as he heads to work. Everything in the town appears normal, cheerful, and peaceful. Each morning, Truman buys a newspaper before going to the office and regularly meets a pair of twins to whom he tries to sell insurance. Though Truman is married, we learn he was in love with another woman during his college years. He often dreams of leaving the town, as he has never been outside it. But the town is surrounded by the sea, and he has a deep fear of water, fear rooted in a childhood trauma where his father drowned during a fishing trip in a storm. In one scene, Truman's wife returns from the grocery store and excitedly shows him a new kitchen knife she claims is from a great brand. Truman occasionally spends time at night with his only close friend, playing golf on a bridge where he shares his desire to travel, though his friend dismisses the idea. Later, there's a peculiar moment when it starts raining only where Truman is standing, suggesting the rain is artificial and hinting at something unusual in his seemingly perfect world. Truman returns home and talks to his wife about his desire to explore the world, but she, like others, dismisses and discourages the idea. The next morning, following his usual routine, Truman goes to buy a newspaper before work and notices a man who seems like a detective suspiciously watching him. On his way to the bank, he sees a beggar and realizes it's his father, whom he believed was dead. Just as Truman tries to reach him, two men appear and quickly take his father away on a bus, making it seem like someone is preventing their reunion. Truman visits his mother to talk about what he saw, but she lies, insisting his father is dead, and behaves strangely, which only deepens Truman's suspicions. Back home, he looks through old photos and takes out a sweater belonging to a girl he once loved in college. It's revealed that people are secretly watching everything Truman does, as if he is on a live TV show. A flashback shows his college days, where he met and liked a girl. But his current wife suddenly appeared and diverted his attention. At a party, Truman sees the girl again and tries to dance with her, but she is forcefully taken away, suggesting people were controlling who he could be with. It becomes clear that Truman ended up with his wife not by choice, but due to external pressure. In the next scene, Truman meets the same girl again in a library, where she warns him that they don't want her to talk to him. They secretly go to the beach where they talk, kiss, and she desperately tries to tell him that everything around him is fake and that the real world is watching him. Suddenly, a man claiming to be her father appears and forcefully takes her away. Back in the present, Truman is shown daydreaming about her while holding her sweater. The following morning, while driving, his car radio accidentally picks up a wireless frequency where men are narrating his every move, causing Truman to become suspicious. He begins to notice strange things around him, people repeating routines and scenes that feel staged. He enters a random building and finds people storing food oddly, only to be kicked out by security. Truman then talks to his friend, who works in a store, but the friend insists Truman is just imagining things and confirms his father's death. Later, while looking at old family photos with his wife and mother, Truman notices something off about his wedding picture. His wife's finger position makes him suspect the photo was fake. The next day, he follows her to a hospital where she pretends to work. When Truman tries to explore, the hospital staff tries to stop him, but he sneaks into an operating room and sees people pretending to perform surgery. This strengthens his belief that everyone around him, including his wife, is an actor and everything in his life is an elaborate setup. Truman, determined to leave the town, buys a bus ticket, but the driver purposely sabotages the engine, preventing his escape. Later, he takes his wife for a drive and accurately predicts a series of people and vehicles that appear in a loop, proving his suspicion that everything is staged. He forces his wife to drive across the bridge, and though they manage to get out of town briefly, they're stopped by fake officials pretending there's a nuclear disaster, forcing them to return. At home, his wife oddly advertises a cocoa brand mid-conversation, leaving Truman shocked and angry. Realizing this is part of the artificial world where actors promote products, Truman confides in his friend, but we see the friend being fed lines by a hidden director, confirming he's part of the setup. Truman is then reunited with his long-lost father, an actor, in a staged emotional scene watched live by audiences around the world. The girl Truman loved in college is also seen watching, heartbroken. It's revealed that Truman has unknowingly lived in this fake town since birth, with everything around him, his parents, friends, even the sky and weather, being controlled elements of a massive reality TV show called The Truman Show. Broadcast globally 24/7, The next day, Truman appears to resume his routine. He meets the twin brothers, offers them an insurance policy, buys a newspaper, and returns home. Meanwhile, the studio team watches him sleeping in the basement since his fake wife has left. But the director suspects something is wrong and sends Truman's friend to check on him. When they discover Truman has secretly escaped, a massive search is launched, and the crew even forces the sun to rise early to aid the search, but he remains missing. It's revealed that Truman has taken a boat and is sailing out of town, monitored closely by hidden cameras and viewers around the world, including the girl who truly loved him. Determined to escape, Truman continues forward despite the show's director unleashing a violent storm in an attempt to stop him. After being knocked unconscious, fans express outrage, prompting the director to halt the storm. Truman regains consciousness and eventually reaches the edge of the artificial world, a painted wall of sky. There he finds a staircase and a door marked exit. The film ends as Truman chooses freedom, walking through the door and leaving behind the life that was never truly his.